Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, folks, this one's wild. We're in a Tennessee courtroom today where a man named Matthew Aldridge is supposed to be standing trial. But instead of Matthew, the court gets this guy. When the judge asks if he's Matthew Aldridge, the man coolly.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not at this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me.
Have a copy of it.
Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
replies, "I'm the attorney of fact." The judge blinks. "Attorney of what?" he asks. The man doubles down. "Attorney of fact." Now, if you've never heard that term before, don't worry.
Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are in fact Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be an article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury. Certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this. And I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right, to Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me, whose name must not be uttered.
Because it's not real. There's no such thing in law. This man isn't an attorney. He's not licensed. He doesn't even have a power of attorney. But he's standing there, stone-faced, acting like he's cracked. Some secret legal code the rest of us don't know about.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be set, will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
This is classic sovereign citizen behavior. People who genuinely believe they can sidestep the law just by saying the right magic words. But the judge? He's not buying a single syllable of it. He calmly explains that only an attorney at law can represent someone in court, and pretending to do so can actually get you into serious trouble. The judge gives him a fair shot. If you have a legal power of attorney, show it. And the man, of course, doesn't have one. But then, in the most dramatic twist, he hands the bailiff a piece of paper, supposedly his proof. The judge takes a look, and you can almost feel his patience thinning through the screen. The document is full of made-up laws, pseudo-legal gibberish, the kind of stuff pulled straight from internet conspiracy forums. And this is where the judge's composure really shines. He's firm but calm. He tells the man point blank, "This has no legal standing. You can't challenge a criminal court's jurisdiction with civil paperwork or imaginary laws." The courtroom's silent. The man tries to interrupt, mumbling something about pre-trial and jury rights, but the judge isn't entertaining the circus. He cuts him off mid-sentence, saying, "You stop talking now. It's rare to see a judge handle this kind of nonsense so gracefully. Most would have lost their cool by now." "But this judge?" He delivers a reality check that's part law school lecture, part mic drop. By the end, he makes it clear, if this man really is Matthew Aldridge, then he's out of time. His trial date's already set. But if he's not, then he better tell the real Matthew Aldridge to show up next time, or he'll be in jail come July 15th. And when the judge closes by saying, "Take your piece of paper and go about your business," you can feel the finality. He's done. Case closed, or at least it would be if these sovereign types ever stopped arguing. Cliffhanger pause, but we're not done yet. Because after this courtroom moment, the narrator breaks it all down. What this sovereign citizen nonsense actually means, and why it never ever works. Now let's talk about what we just witnessed, because this wasn't just a courtroom misunderstanding. This was a textbook example of the sovereign citizen mindset at work. These are people who honestly believe they can opt out of the legal system just by declaring they don't recognize the government's authority. They'll talk about common law, quote, random passages from the Uniform Commercial Code, and write up homemade legal documents as if they've uncovered some ancient secret. But in reality, none of it holds any power in court. Judges have seen this game 100 times before, and it always ends the same way, with wasted time, mounting frustration, and the defendant walking out worse than when they came in. The law isn't a choose-your-own-adventure book. You can't just decide which parts apply to you. This judge, though, he handled it like a pro. He didn't raise his voice, didn't let emotion take over, just pure authority backed by decades of experience. When he said, "You are wasting the court's time," you could feel the weight in the room. He wasn't just scolding the man, he was defending the entire justice system from being turned into a circus. And here's the sad part. These attorney-of-fact types genuinely believe they're outsmarting the system. They think they've found some magical loophole that'll get them off scot-free. But in the end, they're just stacking up contempt charges and digging themselves deeper. The truth is simple. The court has jurisdiction over anyone within its reach. Geography, not belief, decides that. No amount of fancy wordplay or homemade paperwork changes it. And while it might seem harmless, this kind of behavior actually costs taxpayers, delays real cases, and clogs up an already overwhelmed court system. All for what? To make a point that's been proven wrong again and again. So when the judge finally says, "Take your paper and go," that wasn't just dismissal, that was symbolic. It was a reminder that no matter how hard someone tries to bend reality, the law doesn't move for fiction. It's strange, isn't it? Some people think they're rebelling against authority, when really they're just giving it more power. Anyway, that's going to wrap up today's breakdown. What did you think of this one? Are sovereign citizen cases getting more outlandish, or are we just seeing more of them?